The reason many Nigerians feel stuck in a financial rat race is because they are playing a game that is rigged against them. You've probably had some of these old advices like get a good job, save a percentage of your salary, cut down on your expenses. You might be doing that already, but you look at your bank account and you wonder what you are doing wrong. Here's the hard truth. That advice is outdated, and following it is like trying to fill a bucket with a hole underneath it. Did you know that with Nigeria's current inflation rate, every single naira you have in your bank account is actively losing its value, meaning you're growing poorer every single day. But there is a completely different approach that financially successful people use. And by the way, it's not by saving more. I've studied the financial journey of a lot of successful people that I know, from top executives to savvy entrepreneurs, and they all follow this same blueprint. This blueprint will change your life, and it works every single time. By the way, my name is Henry Uche, and as an investment professional with years in the trenches of the financial market, this is what I do all day, every day. And if this sounds like what you like, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel to learn more about finance and investments from an insider. Without further ado, let's dive into the video. The first skill, which is arguably the most important, is budgeting and financial planning. Look, in Nigeria, where most of the time our incomes are unpredictable and inflation is always on the rise, budgeting is not just a fancy idea, it's a tool you need for your survival. Think of it this way. A budget gives every single naira a specific job. Before you get in your feelings and want to buy that fancy new shoe or dress you saw on TikTok, when you know where your money is supposed to go, it's a lot harder to spend it on things you don't actually need. And that starts by knowing the difference between a need, something you require to live and survive, something like rent, your transport money, your food money, and your wants, things that are nice to have, but not really needed, like that third shoe you want to buy or the new iPhone 17 that you want, but you really do not need. The simplest way to start budgeting is by tracking your income and your expenses. Know how much is coming in and how much is going out. Then apply the 50-30-20 rule. It's truly a game changer. And it goes like this. 50% of every income goes for your essentials, things like rent, transport, or your feeding. 30% of every income goes for your wants, things like hanging out with friends, buying that new clothes, and even going for a few drinks. Then 20% of every income, which is actually the most important, goes for your savings and investments. If you don't learn to budget, you will never learn to pay yourself. And this leads us to the second skill, learning to pay yourself first. Now, this is something I myself learned the hard way. So when I got my first job right after college, I thought that paying myself first meant on payday or after payday, I should take myself out, have a good time, enjoy myself. After all, I worked for the money, right? When I learned the real meaning of paying yourself first, it changed my financial life completely. It simply means that the first bill you should pay when you get your salary is your savings and investments. Mind you, you pay this even before your rent, your groceries, your feeding, and even your transport. Before you pay anything else, send that money to your savings account or your investment account. It took me many years to learn this, but now, immediately my salary touches my account, I transfer 40% of that money out into my investment account, and I never touch it again. And I realized a funny thing happening. That same salary that used to finish even before the month end, well, guess what? It still finishes before the month end. But now I learned to manage that 60% left, while the 40% I sent out is actively growing and making more money for me as time goes by. The secret here is start small. You don't need to do 40% like I do. You can start with 15 or 20%. But make sure you take this out religiously. Do it every single month and watch as your financial life begins to change. Skill number 3 is something Nigerians never think about. Start building your emergency funds. It's really important. Let's be real. Emergencies in Nigeria is not if it happens, is when it happens, like your car breaking down in the middle of nowhere, a family member calling you and asking you for help, or an unexpected bill popping out of nowhere, and you have to just solve them. But first, let's be clear on what an emergency actually is. That new iPhone 17 that is on sale, that's not an emergency. But a sudden job loss or your child falling sick, now that's an emergency. Your first goal should be to build a savings backup that can cover at least 3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses. What's your monthly rent? This is your yearly rent divided by 12. Whatever that number is, keep it aside. How much do you spend on feeding every month? Keep it aside. How much do you spend on transport? Keep it aside. How much do you spend on basic amenities like your NEPA bill, data, and essential things you need? Calculate that total number, then multiply it by 3. This is the base target you need to survive for 3 months. This should be your first goal. Start with a base goal of maybe 500,000 or 1 million. This is depending on your lifestyle and the size of your family. For someone like me, 1 million is going to take me for 4 straight months on basic living expenses. Now, where do you keep this money? Definitely not in your normal spending account, because you'll be tempted to touch it every now and then. And definitely not in your risky investment account where you use the money to buy stocks or bonds or things like that. You need this money safe and liquid, meaning you should be able to get access to this money without paying for any penalties. A high interest savings account, separate from your main bank account, is perfect for this purpose. Use fintech apps like Piggyvest, Cowrywise, where you can keep your money makes interest over time, and you can actually get access to your money without paying huge penalties. The psychological benefits of having an investment fund is massive. Knowing that you have a safety net is the difference between a stressful inconvenience and a full-blown catastrophe. Your emergency funds buy you your peace of mind. Once your emergency funds are kept somewhere safe and away from your normal expenses, it's time to start investing for the long run. Your savings will never ever outrun inflation. It's not even possible if your money is just sitting in a bank account. That 100,000 naira you saved last year, well, guess what? With inflation ranging around 20%, that 100,000 naira can only buy you 80,000 naira worth of goods this year. Why? Because inflation has stolen 20,000 naira out of that money, meaning you are growing poorer if you are not investing. You need to start investing for your money to start growing. And you don't need to be an expert to start investing. You can start with simple options like mutual funds, which is basically a basket of different investments managed by professionals. This automatically diversifies your risk. Or you could look into government bonds like FGN savings bonds. These are very low risk investments. Then as you learn more, you can graduate into buying single stocks from platforms like Bamboo, CSL Stockbrokers, or AfriInvest. Then you can now start looking into investing in real estate. The most important thing at this stage is just to start. You don't need millions to start investing. Some platforms in Nigeria even let you start investing with as little as 5,000 naira. And the key here is to start early and be consistent, letting your investment work for you in the long term and not just for short-term gains. But you find it extremely difficult to grow until you master skill number 5, which is increasing your earning power. The real secret to building wealth isn't about saving more, but about earning more money. There is a limit to how much you can save, but there is no limit to how much you can earn. The pay you get is directly proportional to the value you provide in the marketplace. You do this by learning and developing high demand skills. Don't just rely on your university degree. Go on YouTube, Coursera, Udemy, and learn skills like digital marketing, graphic designing, programming, UI UX, video editing. There are lots of skills you could pick up online. Think about it like this: stacking your skills. You don't need to be the world best programmer, but if you are a programmer who understands marketing and can write really well, then now you are uniquely valued in the marketplace. Just like me, I work in finance, but I write and edit my videos myself in order to bring valuable information and knowledge to you, so you too can level up your life. This is why I'm asking you to like this video if you're benefiting from it, as it will go a long way in encouraging me. As you learn and upskill, also learn to network effectively. Networking isn't all about collecting contacts. Use your LinkedIn, connect with people in your desired field, offer value first. Also go to industry events, virtual ones, and learn to network with ambitious people who are focused on growth. Your environment or the people you surround yourself with will either pull you up or drag you down. But be careful so you don't fall in the absence of skill number 6, which is avoid lifestyle inflation. This is the one silent killer of financial progress. It's the temptation to upgrade your entire life the moment you get a raise or find a better paying job. Suddenly, you want to move into a bigger apartment, you want to buy the latest iPhone, or you want to change your wardrobe. This is how people end up in what we call the golden curves, earning more salary but end up being broke every time because their expensive lifestyle depend on every paycheck they earn. Real wealth often isn't visible. It's the money you don't spend. Avoid the trap of spending more because you suddenly started earning more. Here's a practical rule. Next time you get a raise or move to a better paying job, commit to saving and investing 50% of that new increase. This allows you to upgrade your lifestyle while significantly accelerating your savings and investments. Win-win in my books. Shift your mindset from buying liabilities that lose value, like a brand new car, to buying assets that gain value over time, like stocks and real estate. Delayed gratification is actually a financial superpower. And this brings us to skill number 6, financial literacy. Many people are broke today not because they are not earning enough money, but because they don't understand money. Understanding the basics of money will save you from making costly mistakes in life. A lot of Nigerians fall for investment scams like those double your money in 30 days schemes because they lack basic financial knowledge. If an investment promises you return that sounds too good to be true, like gain 30% within a month, then it's most likely an investment scam. Make learning about money a lifelong journey. Read financial books like The Rich Money Woman by Eris Ugu or Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Watch and subscribe to reputable finance channels like mine here on YouTube. The goal isn't to become a financial expert, but to be able to ask the right questions and to spot bad investments from a mile away when you see them. You need to be able to understand concepts like inflation, asset allocation, compound interest, and the relationship between risk and reward for yourself in order to become financially free. This leads us to skill number 8, which is start building multiple streams of income. In an economy as unstable as that of Nigeria, depending on one source of income is a serious financial risk because the number 1 is too close to number 0. So you need to be intentional about creating different sources of income for yourself. Think about leveraging the skill you already have. That skill you use at your 9-to-5 job could be a skill you could offer to small businesses on the side as a freelance gig. With Naira's volatility, it is also wise to learn how to earn in stronger currencies like the US dollar. Explore global freelance platforms like Upwork or Fiverr, or you can start building a passive income stream like starting a YouTube channel, selling a digital product, or getting dividends from your stock investments. Don't wait for the perfect idea. Version 1 is always better than no version. Just start today. Finally, skill number 9, retirement planning. Yes, I know we are all young and retirement feels like a lifetime away. But the earlier you start, the ridiculously easier it becomes to compound over time. You cannot rely on your employer's pension plan to take care of you in your old age. You need to start building your own out. The goal here isn't to stop working at 65. The goal is to achieve financial independence to the point where your passive income and investments generate enough money to take care of your living expense and working becomes optional. You could just wake up one morning at 35 or 40 and decide not to work and never go broke. The magic, once again, is compound interest. Let's take, for example, you decide to start investing 20,000 naira every month at the age of 25 in a portfolio that averages about 10% annual return. At the age of 60, you would have gotten over 70 million naira. But if you just wait 10 years and start investing at 35, the same 20,000 naira the same portfolio that averages 10% every year, you would end up with less than 25 million naira. This is the power of compound interest and starting early. That 10 years delay will cost you over 45 million naira theoretically. Set up automatic contribution to your retirement funds. Your future self will thank you. To conclude, we discussed 9 skills every youth, especially the Gen Zs, must learn before they turn 35 in order to be 10 years ahead of their peers financially. The likes of Tony Elumelu and Dangote all started from somewhere. Your somewhere could be right here, right now. If you learned something new from this video, kindly hit the like button. And if you enjoy finance and investment videos, kindly subscribe to the channel for more financial tips and educational content. To learn how to invest in the Nigerian stock market and grow financially, just watch the next video.